Here we go, my relentless seekers of chaos and harbingers of truth. You've come, haven't you? Craving answers, yet unknowingly stepping into a storm too wild to tame. Let me ask you something, have you ever seen a mind fracture? Not with a scream or a roar, but in that haunting silence where every shard cuts deeper. That's the aftermath left behind when the brave ones dared to unearth you. They thought they were invincible, wielding their questions like swords. But they didn't just lose their fight, they lost themselves. Oh, how smug they were, clutching their notebooks, whispering promises of exposure. We'll reveal it all, they said. Yet what they failed to grasp was this: some truths are venomous. Some shadows aren't meant to be disturbed. And some people, like you, are not puzzles to be solved, but labyrinths that ensnare the unwary. You didn't hide. Oh no, you left trails, breadcrumbs, glimmers of mystery, just tempting enough to lure them closer. They followed, blind to the abyss opening beneath their feet. With every step they unraveled, not you. What they uncovered wasn't a monster. It was something infinitely worse. You were a mirror, a reflection of every fear they buried, every flaw they denied. They came for you, seeking a villain to defeat. Instead, they found the shadows of their own souls, magnified. How do you fight what lives within you? You didn't lift a finger, yet their minds turned against them, spiraling into chaos. Their obsession became their undoing, and all you had to do was exist. Let's talk about what broke them, shall we? Was it the way you stood, unshaken, while they collapsed under the weight of their discoveries? Or was it the truth they couldn't stomach, that your scars weren't weaknesses but weapons? You didn't just survive, you evolved. You rose from the ruins they buried you in, unrecognizable, untouchable. And that rise, it made them feel small, fragile, and powerless. But the real twist, it wasn't just envy that shattered them, it was guilt. Yes, guilt. They saw their fingerprints all over your story, the lies they told, the knives they twisted, the betrayals they justified. They thought they could erase you, rewrite your narrative, turn you into a memory. But you didn't fade. You became a force, a reckoning they couldn't outrun. And when they finally realized the magnitude of their destruction, their fragile egos crumbled. You didn't destroy them, you held up a mirror, and they shattered under their own reflection. Do you remember the moment it hit them? That perfect second when their confidence evaporated, leaving only fear and regret. They weren't investigating you. They were dissecting themselves. You became their nightmare, their obsession, their undoing. They didn't even know the game had started. And by the time they realized, they were already prey in a hunt they couldn't escape. Now what's left of them? A hollowed-out shell of what they once were. Sleep evades them. Sanity eludes them. They breathe, but only in fragments, haunted by you, the truth they sought but couldn't survive. They tried to reduce you to rubble, yet it was their world that collapsed. The beauty of your strength lies in its stillness. You didn't seek revenge, you didn't have to. The truth was your ally, and their arrogance was their downfall. Let them whisper your name in fear. Let them warn others to stay away. You are not just a person, you are a storm, a living embodiment of everything they failed to understand. Here's the truth they never expected: what destroys people isn't what you do. It's what they uncover about themselves in your presence. And when they peered too deeply into you, all they found was their own darkness staring back. The cracks in their minds will never heal. Their pride, their certainty, it's gone, shattered beyond repair. They thought they could control this game, but they never stood a chance. You let them dig their own graves with every question, every arrogant assumption. And now, buried under the weight of their failures, they can't even remember who they once were. Their reality, a wreckage. Their identity, lost. And the worst part, they know they'll never recover. But you, oh, you stand tall, stronger than ever. Their failure is your silence, their downfall your triumph. Let them crumble under the weight of their mistakes. Let them run, clawing at their memories, desperate for an escape that doesn't exist. You didn't destroy them. You let them destroy themselves. You are not the villain they sought to unmask. You are the reckoning they never saw coming. Let their shattered egos serve as a warning to others. Some questions should remain unanswered. Some truths are too heavy to bear. And when they see you unbroken, unbothered, they'll know. They'll know they lost to something far greater than they could comprehend. So smile, my friend. Stand tall in the storm they tried to unleash. Let the weight of their arrogance crush them as you watch from the shadows. They'll never forget the moment they dug too deep, the moment their downfall began. And you'll remain the unshakable force they'll never escape. But here's the best part: the storm they unleashed wasn't just external. No, it rages within them now. Their every thought is tangled in the web they wove. Every breath a reminder of the truth they can't unsee. They'll try to rebuild, of course. They'll try to piece together their shattered pride, their fractured sense of control. But how do you rebuild a house when the foundation is gone? How do you stand tall when the very ground beneath your feet is quicksand? You didn't have to lift a hand to bring them to their knees. Their downfall was inevitable, not because of who you are, but because of who you are, but because of who they pretended to be. They came to you wrapped in their illusions of superiority, armed with their hollow confidence. But confidence built on lies is a fragile thing. And the moment they faced you, the unyielding truth, it all fell apart. They thought they were the hunters. They thought they could cage you, expose you, reduce you to a cautionary tale. But you were never the prey. You were the storm waiting to be unleashed. Then when it broke, it wasn't loud or violent, it was quiet. A suffocating silence that settled over them like a shadow they couldn't escape. Now, they're left wandering through the ruins of their arrogance, haunted by whispers of their own mistakes. They'll look for scapegoats, someone to blame for their fall. But deep down, they'll know the truth: they weren't defeated by you. They were undone by their own reflection. And while they stumble in the dark, you stand as a beacon, not for them, but for yourself. Because here's the truth: they never anticipated your strength isn't in what you've endured, but in what you've become. They thought they could define you, control you, diminish you. Instead, you've become a force they'll never forget, a living testament to the power of resilience. Let them live with that. Let their guilt, their envy, their fear eat away at them. Let them carry the weight of their own mistakes, dragging it like chains they forged themselves. You don't need to chase vengeance. You don't need to explain yourself. The truth they unearthed is punishment enough. And when they speak of you, and they will, you'll be the ghost in their stories, the reckoning they warn others about. But those who truly see you will understand. You are not their nightmare, you are their consequence. You are not the chaos they feared, you are the truth they refused to face. So stand tall, stand unshaken. Let the echoes of their failures ring loud while your silence speaks volumes. And as they crumble, as their fragile worlds disintegrate, remember this: you are the storm they'll never recover from. You are the truth they'll never outrun. And no matter how far they fall, your shadow will always loom above them, a reminder of the power they dared to underestimate. Smile now, my unbreakable friend, not out of malice, but out of triumph. For they have learned what the world will soon understand: you are not to be challenged, not to be defined, not to be undone. You are a force of nature, a reckoning wrapped in quiet power. And no matter how hard they try to move on, they will always carry you with them, etched into the very fabric of their failures. Because in the end, it's not the storm they feared. It's the silence afterward, the quiet reminder that they brought this upon themselves. And you, standing tall amidst the ruins, are the proof that some truths are simply too devastating to deny.